Ladies and gentlemen, we are into picks and bans for the second game of this best of 3 series between VG and FM eSports. VG taking a very commanding win in the first game. There has been some shouting of numbers, everyone is laughing, and Sona can't control himself, as per
It's
usual.
always this game as well. It's always the second game of the second best of 3. I crack up.
It is.
It's absolutely mental. Anyway, Verge on the blue side here. They took a game off FM.
They took a game off M, which is actually most people would consider an upset. And I think it was, they're going to ban Jinx. I am so happy someone has banned Jinx. Finally, against Nizar, because everyone thought I was stupid. Everyone says Jinx is not the problem. Jinx is not the problem. Well, 100% win rate on Jinx is probably going to be a bit of a problem. And they're going to ban it against him. If not, it forces him onto another AD carry like the Varus, which is a little bit more manageable.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have quite the safe, not as safe in the late game either.
No, I mean, he could always go, Lucian's still up, go Caitlyn as well, we saw that a couple of times over the weekend. Morgana ban out here from FM makes a lot of sense. Basically the best flex pick in the game at the moment is that Morgana.
Yeah, Morgana does fulfill multiple roles, and actually Prince Philip and both Rafa and Prince Philip do play Morgana. And
it helps get rid of that, protect the Cogmore comp as well. If you ban out the Morgana, it's a lot more difficult. You could go Lulu Janna and then play Juggermore, but you do like to have a Morgana in that combo as well.
So Shen is not banned. First pick Gragas for VG. I really don't think there is going to be a Shen jungle for Nutri again.
Nidalee's still up, although she was nerfed. It was patch 5.7. She was changed.
Yeah,
slightly,
it's the live patch.
So,
it's the live patch that's had a nerf on Nidalee. Unless Tundra wants to run with Shen in the top lane, I don't see Nutri going Shen jungle again. I just don't think that worked very well.
No, it definitely didn't. And still some good champions up for him. I mean, Ziviz plays a lot of Zed. We'll probably wait for Imberlite to pick up his mid laner first, but something we've tended to see out of FM is waiting for Tundra to be the last pick, but I'm not sure they want to do that anymore, because top lane is basically an island most of the time. We don't see a huge top lane advantage being eked out anymore. Fizz, not as strong as he used to be, can't really play like Fizz into Maokai or something like that. And
Tundra's Irelia is up.
I really like that pick.
Yeah.
I really do. I think that's a very strong indication of how FM want to play this game.
And I actually think that Tundra's Irelia deals with a lot of the champions that Prince Philip will and likely pick up. And I actually think Tundra should, in a 1v1 situation, be able to beat Prince Philip with his Irelia. And Fused ban it consistently. I'm not sure if it was banned last game, but Tundra's basically gone, I need to go super hardcore carry mode here. And I think the pickup of Ziviz's LeBlanc is preemptive against this Orianna. Yeah. Because although LeBlanc struggles against Orianna earlier on in lane, eventually she'll just have the damage to burst through the shield being leveled up. And Shen being prioritized here. Shen is being prioritized.
That's something I never thought we'd say again in League of Legends. Like,
for a while,
especially
anyway,
since they haven't buffed him, they haven't changed him. The only change really is that we see a lot more Smite teleports in the top lane.
Yeah. Do you remember the time where Shen was basically first pick or ban in both solo queue and a lot of
and I was in gold at that time, and no one had any map awareness. So it's like, oh yeah, I'll pick Shen, we'll win the game. It didn't ult once in the entire game. We still lose, because of course Shen's not ulting. It's
going to be a cleanse for Imberlite as well, which is I think very
against the Ethereal Chains. That's pretty good.
Yeah, very good against the Ethereal Chains.
And of course you can cleanse Sigil of Malice, I think, as well. So you won't be able to get that double proc off with the Sigil of Malice, mimicked Sigil of Malice.
It's already looking like a scary team comp coming out from VG. I wouldn't be surprised to see yet another Varus pickup.
Yeah, that would work really well.
I think that works okay, because it has the lockup to begin the engage. Then you have the follow-up and 2 ball delivery systems. Not quite as long range as a Malphite ball delivery system, but Body Slam and Shadow Dash both have the potential to put you in basically micro-manage your team fight positions quite easily. And this is looking very scary lineup for VG. We'll have to see what FM decide to lock in on the next rotation. That'll really look to round out their composition. They're going to take Kalista, which is the second most picked up AD carry for Nizar. So usually we see him go on to Kalista if he doesn't get Jinx.
So he's been pushed back onto his third pick. And also, something we've seen a lot from Infused is the Kalista Annie combo in that bot lane. Really strong when you hit 5 because of that Fate's Call into Tibbers. Along with the Sejuani, who's got Thresh also. Yeah, I mean, Thresh is still available with the Morgana ban as well, though. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Kalista Annie.
Yeah, Kalista Annie would be really strong. Kalista Thresh would be strong. I would imagine Rafa will want to pick up Thresh, depending on the AD carry, that we see from
Sivir
Nizar.
maybe coming out from Nizar?
Maybe he has played Sivir before. If he picks up Varus, I would imagine the Thresh would be the combo that they want to go for. Varus Thresh would be strong. Sivir Janna would be okay.
The thing about it is you've got okay engage coming in from Gragas, Shen, and Orianna.
The Braum's a good pickup
So going
against
for
Kalista.
a disengagey. Yeah, Kalista, Braum is really good, of course, because of all the slows and the stuns. Varus, I'm not so sure about.
What is good is that Varus does outrange Kalista. Piercing Arrow is a quick missile speed skill shot. And actually, all Braum needs to do is at least get one auto or Winter's Bite onto Kalista and allow Varus to lock that up further. I did think Varus would have been the AD carry that the VG lineup pick up.
Yeah.
The Braum is surprising, but makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
this
especially
is a
against
massive
Kalista.
wombo combo team here.
Glacial Fisher, Shockwave.
Just crazy.
Explosive
I mean, there's
Cast, that's a
loads
lot
there
of
for them to
combo.
do. And actually,
Nami
Nami.
from Kunsk.
And
That's surprising.
I've been seeing some Nami make a bit more of a re-emergence in solo queue, but hasn't been played extensively and competitive, at least in the Western scene.
The thing about that is Varus is very immobile. He's only going to be able to dodge the Aqua Prism by dodging the Aqua Prism. He hasn't got like a Relentless Pursuit or an Arcane Shift or anything like that. The heal on Sir Scott's going to be really strong. Empowered auto attacks on a Kalista makes it even stronger, and a little bit of extra movement speed. And good disengage coming out from the Tidal Wave, or even good engage into a Glacial Prison. It's an interesting pick, something we don't see often, but it works well in their team comp.
It's got a big long-range disengage as well.
Yeah.
Or, you could even use it as a long-range engage. I don't think they'll want to lane swap here, because Tundra into a lane swap is going to gimp Irelia really badly.
And Prince Philip isn't going to, he scales off items, yes, but he scales by hitting level 6 as well.
Yeah, and also, going into a lane swap, his level 6 is going to be far less useful. I don't know, the Kalista Thresh, the Kalista Nami is an interesting lane. I guess the Nami's going there for the majority of the disengage.
Yeah.
They really just want to use that Tidal Wave when the Shadow Dash or Body Slam is used, or when the Glacial Fisher comes out from Braum, they can just use that as a disengage. I imagine that's the thinking behind that.
It's going to be a really interesting game, especially with no flash on Prince Philip as well. That really negates a lot of his engage potential.
Yeah, like we saw, Nutri pulled off some brilliant flash taunts, but that's because he had the flash. Yeah. Without the flash, it'll be a lot more difficult for him to do. I actually think this lane's going to be very difficult, especially in the early portions for Sir Scott and Quinsk, but it does allow the sustain that they may need against the poke and the range auto attack difference between the two AD carries.
An Ignite on a Nami as well.
Yeah,
that's
so
really
interesting.
aggressive.
That's
Especially
so
the exhaust on Braum makes perfect sense. Rafa,
Yeah.
Exhaust against Kalista is really strong.
Really strong.
Exhaust against Aurelia is pretty strong. Exhaust against LeBlanc
strong.
is really strong as well. The no flash on Prince Philip is debatable. If you want to win lane against an Aurelia, or even perhaps sustain yourself in lane against an Aurelia, you need the Skirmisher Saber.
To duel Aurelia, I think, you need the Skirmisher Saber.
So I can understand taking the Smite there, but Flash would have been perhaps a more team-orientated pick. And then the Ignite on a Nami, that's an aggressive... I've spoken to Kunsk. He likes to be really aggressive, but that is a very, very aggressive pickup in that lane.
Yeah, I mean, level 1 to 2, I actually think Kalista and Nami will be okay.
Yeah.
Because Nami has one of the better trading tools early game with ebb and flow.
Yeah.
Really strong. And obviously, if you can manage to negate Braum getting any sum of Winter's Bites down, you could actually trade fairly effectively. And then if you go into Tidecaller's Blessing, and you manage to get the ebb and flow, and then obviously you can get the movement speed onto Kalista, I think they can trade fairly effectively, because I don't know if there's much that Varus can do until if you've got a Sir Scott with Rend and also his Q, I can't remember what his Q's called, but Tidecaller's Blessing, basically ebb and flow, is actually fairly strong in the early levels. But the further it goes, and once they pick up the rest of the damage and the points in their skills, it'll be a lot more difficult for them to trade effectively. Yeah. And also, if Braum puts up Unbreakable, that just completely blocks the Nami ult.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're going to have to be so selective when they choose to use that Tidal Wave.
And the Glacial Prison as they get into the later games. Tundra will be able to get onto the backline with Blade Surge. Zivers, of course, with Distortion will be able to get there as well. But I'm really interested to see how that bot lane goes. And Ziviz, I wouldn't be surprised if we see him rotating early for a gank. Perhaps level 4, between level 4 and level 6, he likes to go for early ganks, especially into bot lane to get pressure off. And if he can push Imbolite back in that early game, when Imbolite struggles to wave clear because you don't have the cooldown on command attack, then I wouldn't be surprised if we see him rotating down towards bot, perhaps even with Nutri, and going even for a 4-man tower dive early in the game.
Yeah, I mean, the real key here is if in the bot lane, if Rafa can hit the Winter's Bite onto Sir Scott and then Nizar can follow up, that's the only way they effectively win trades. But it's all going to be about how Rafa can apply the concussive blows. If Rafa can apply the concussive blows to Sir Scott, that'll be good for them. They can probably win trades. But before that, it'll be a little bit harder.
Oh, definitely.
It is about whether that concussive blows can get applied onto I can't remember the Nizar. So if they can apply Sir Scott.
Yeah.
If they can apply the concussive blows into Sir Scott, then they'll be in a better position.
Yeah. Which is difficult as well because
you can just use partial poise to dodge it around.
Partial poise can dodge it around, and then of course Nami really good at harassing the enemy while standing in her own minion line. Winter's Bite is not going to hit you in the minion line. What you have to do there is you have to do stand behind me onto a minion, then get the auto attack down and try and go.
Yeah, they're going to have to be careful in that respect, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I'll have to see what they choose to go. Maybe they will lane swap, but Shen with Smite and obviously going into a lane swap scenario would be a lot more difficult for him to get the health build up that he needs to trade effectively. Obviously, when you go for the Stalker's Blade, it's really powerful in a 1v1 scenario because you can get the Gromp buff on the blue side, and then you can smite with the Stalker's Blade, and then you just trade really effectively because they can't hit you back, and then you're starting to do damage over time that's true damage. Yeah, I mean, there's loads there that just favors a 1v1 matchup, and I think that's one of the things that people may look to capitalize on when there is a Smite TP. You can lane swap into it, and it is fairly effective.
Tundra, of course, well known for his Aurelia, though, so wouldn't struggle in that lane swap if it did happen. Nutri and Sejuani, he likes these sort of team fight-oriented champions, also likes to pick champions in the enemy jungle. He's very good at controlling vision, something we've seen from VergeGG a lot in the last 3 games. I mean, they did it superbly well against XL. In the last game, they had great river vision as well throughout all of the team fights. Now, is Nutri going to be able to get these early ganks off that you really need to get Sejuani rolling, or do you expect him to be forced out by the Verge vision and just be waiting for that level 6?
It depends on how the vision's controlled by both sides. Nutri can get some early ganks down. It really depends on how these lanes are going to match. I'll tell you once either of them decide to go for a lane swap, and I'll be able to tell you. Because
you'll tell me once one of them gets first blood, and then we'll know that one is probably going to win out in the early game.
Obviously, if FM do want to put in a lane swap to try and shut down the TP smite. Oh, spectator game unavailable.
Well, we'll see if I can get in, because I haven't had that up yet. Although, according to my screen, Baron is live.
Well, there you are.
Imbolite's left the game. Might have a pause coming out here. It looks like VG might be having a couple of issues. FM have loaded into the lobby, though, so into the game, and they've brought up items as well. We'll just see what's going on here. Oh, client crashed, apparently, on a couple of the champions, so hopefully that will get fixed in just a minute. Now, we haven't talked a lot about the Nami, Kalista. We talked about their laning, but Fate's Call. Something you don't tend to see with these squishier supports is the Kalista matchup, because Fate's Call is so strong with a full-on engaged support or with a tanky support, chucking them into the mid line. Do you think that's going to be mostly used? You could even use it for repositioning the tidal wave.
Yeah, I mean, repositioning the tidal wave could be really key. Now, I actually think the main portion of the tidal wave is going to be used here as a disengage tool. The way I think they'll be wanting to use it is if they can see Prince Philip and Dan at the forefront, and if they do go for a body slam or a shadow dash, they will be able to immediately tidal wave for the disengage. They will very rarely be able to use it as an engage tool because of the Brown.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see. I think the majority of the engage will be coming out from Nutri, and whether he can make that work with his Glacial Prison. I just don't think Quince is going to have the ability, especially with the Unbreakable, unless he's seen the Unbreakable go on cooldown, they won't be able to use that tidal wave.
And it looks like we are into the game. All of VergeGG have loaded in. It's a best of 3 between Verge and FM eSports here. Verge 1-0 up already. Can they make it 2?
Well, they can try.
They can definitely try. They're putting up a little bit of a stack towards the top side of their jungle here. Going to go in towards a blue side and try and help out Dan in that early clear. Of course, Prince Philip with his smite as well. Might be going for a little bit of invade. No double smite on the side of FM. Of course, it changed ever so slightly recently. Something we've seen come into favour a little bit. Tundra's going to spot out Verge as they walk around here. He's just going to back away, pops the ward in the bush, and we'll spot out Verge. Will they clear it? No, they won't. And it gives FM even more advantage as they know exactly where Verge are. We see as well another ward
they want to
placed
swap.
here
They
by
want to
Nutri.
try and get a ward down for the lane swap.
They want to try and get a ward down for the lane swap, exactly, Scoundrel. And so Scott is going to position towards the enemy Krugs. Verge again getting some deep wards in. They've actually pinged out a ward position up to the top. This is where we tend to see the lane swap ward going in, because this is, you see the enemy laner getting into their lane as soon as possible. But
because of the pressure that I think that they realised that they could get caught out if they went for that deep ward, they couldn't actually get it down.
Yeah.
But I think they're either just looking to see where Nutri was starting and get a big amount of vision down there, or they were trying to get the ward for lane swap. Because of the pressure from the FM lineup, they didn't manage to get their ward. They were pinging it out. They were pinging out the ward, the position for the lane swap. And actually, it's going to be VG that instigate the lane swap here.
that it is, and Niza and Math are going to try and force out Tundra. They know how strong he is on this Aurelia. He's gone Crystalline Flask as well, though, so shouldn't struggle too much in this lane. Interestingly as well, Prince Philip has gone that Hunter's Machete, which is not what we tend to see first item. So VG definitely wanted to force this. Prince Philip going Hunter's Machete for the extra jungle clear to help out down on this first rotation. Then we'll back and probably pick up that Ruby Crystal as soon as he can.
Yeah. And I was just laughing at the admins because I was doing something mildly hilarious on camera.
Good thing we're not on camera though, Scoundrel.
Well, I'm sure I'm on camera to them. But no, it's going to be the lane swap instigated by VG. So this is, they don't want to put Tundra in a 1v1 with their Shen, and they're going to allow Shen to just 2v1 in the bot lane. But Shen, he's going round for the invade onto Nutri's side of jungle. So the deep wards coming out here were mainly to just gain vision control. And with the double smite, they should be able to take this down fairly easily. Not that they're going to need it. And Tundra is going to walk around with Nutri. I think they may have spotted them out because Nutri and Tundra are immediately looking to get onto the red side jungle of VG. And actually, Dan and Prince Philip are heading round towards this mid lane. They may want to make something happen.
Yeah, they're going to try and get a gank off onto Zivers, but LeBlanc, one of the safest mid laners in the early game. Look at this 4-man stack already. They've seen Rapper, leave that top lane. That would be so aggressive, and Zivers would have to be overly aggressive on Imberlight if this were going to happen. Imberlight trying to force him to use that distortion, but while all of this has been going on, Nutri and Tundra have stolen away that red buff. Tundra not actually hitting level 2. I think what he'll probably do, oh no, I was going to say he'll come down towards this bottom lane and perhaps leech off a couple of minions just to make sure he's 2 before he gets back into lane, but
if he teleports to that top lane, he's in a really bad position.
An awful position. And there it goes. Level 1 at Tundra. Gets in there. He's only 1 minion away from 2.
And he's going to ward out.
Immediately he goes and wards. But Dan at Prince Philip are here. The taunt is available. There we go. He gets taunted, but he manages to flash away. Will he escape? There's a red buff on him. I don't think it'll be enough. Piercing arrow comes out. First blood for Dan. Dan, of course, no flash now. A nice Aqua Prism. Not going to connect because Dan turns around. And with 4 men in the top lane, Verge pick up first blood.
Yeah, like teleporting to the tower at level 1 when you can't see the jungler and the top laner. They still haven't returned to lane. Yeah. I think that was a bit of a positive.
All that took was 1 more minion, and he was level 2, and he'd have Equilibrium Strike, and he'd be able to fight it a little bit more than he did.
Oh, Nutri, they might try and dive
They're going to dive in, but Dan takes the aggro. He's going to go down. Nizar now going to take the next bit of aggro from that tower. Look at how low that Varus is, and with Tundra trying to get into the fray, Verge are going to have to retreat. Nutri, juggling the tower aggro like a king, manages to get Dan down, and Rapper going to have to retreat away. Tundra now going to have a nice wave of minions under his tower to get himself up towards the higher levels. Halfway to level 3, misses a minion. Obviously a little bit of an accident from him there. But he will be level 3 by the time his lane opponents get back. And be interested to see what Verge do here. Nizar heading up towards the top lane. It looks like he's going to be in a 2v2 against, not Scott, against Tundra and Kunsk. Well, Scott on this Kalista, they obviously really value this Kalista's late game because he's frozen this lane right in front of his tower. Yeah. And they're just letting him farm away.
And Prince Philip now has to move through the jungle and get his experience from there. So essentially you're running 2 junglers at this point in time. It's just absolute frozen city down here. Taking a leaf out of Sejuani's book as Scott is just freezing this wave and not allowing Prince Philip to come into lane to get the experience and the gold that he needs. And Tundra now, Are VG going to respond and try and freeze the lane themselves? They have got... No, they're not. They're going to start...
I think they just have to let it go, let it go. CS never bothered them anyway. So it is Frozen City in the bot lane. I was so proud of that. It was awful. I almost got it.
It was pretty good. It was pretty good.
I forgot the verses. Let it go.
Let it go, let it go. I can't remember
Can't take it anymore.
Let it go, let it go.
Turn around and close the door.
Yeah, there you go. See, actually, Tundra's going to be in a fairly good position here, but Dan has just come through the
Scott
lane
had
with
to burn
Prince
heal,
Philip.
actually, in bot lane.
Dan has come through the lane with Prince Philip, and they've actually put a lot of pressure onto Sir Scott, and Prince Philip is now going to be in a fairly good position. Sir Scott's going to require a fair amount of healing here.
He had to burn heal and flash in a little bit of a push there by Prince Philip and Dan. He will be healed up by Ebb and Flow from Kunsk, who's only level 3, but he's decided to come down into this 2v2 in the bottom lane. Tundra left alone once more on his little island. Going to try and farm himself up with that Blade Surge as much as possible, but needs to be careful because another 4-man stack could come up here at any point, and you see how defensive he is. Going to give up the tower. Good pressure there from Verge. They're going to let all those minions fall to tower before they end up taking it down.
Yeah, this is not good for Irelia as well. It's really going to delay her power spike. As you can see, she's not picked up any items towards her mid-game build, so she's only picked up the boots at this moment in time, as well as a lot of sustain. Whereas on the opposite side of things, Prince Philip has already picked up his Skirmisher Saber, as well as the Ruby Crystal, and I don't think Tundra's going to be too happy, because as an Irelia, you do feel fairly useless until you do get the items that you need, and still no one actually coming up to help remedy this push coming out from VG. And although Tundra may feel fairly safe on this inner turret, he's still going to have to deal with a lot of poke coming out from Nizar and Rafa.
So Scott is joint highest level in the game now. On a lot of AD carries, that is quite a good thing, but Fate's call at the moment on Kunsk, it means Kunsk can be a little bit more aggressive, but it's not like having a collateral damage, it's not like having a chain of corruption or anything, it's not the biggest level 6 hit that you can get on an AD carry. Nutri's going to jump across the wall here, Concussive Blows was on him, but Dan, no level 6 won't pop out the explosive cask yet. And it looks like it's going to be a 3-man stack for FM in the top lane. That's almost 2,000 gold behind, 1.5. And they need to be careful that this game doesn't start snowballing away from them.
Yeah, I mean, they're starting to lose their jungle as well. This is another red buff that gets taken away by Dan and the guys, and they're going to move away, and they aren't in position to invade onto the red side jungle of VG, so that's just going to be Nutri losing a buff for free, I believe. They don't have the man advantage in the bot lane. Ziviz is now moving down. He may look like he wants to go and put some pressure onto this red side jungle, but look at the top lane here. Nizar, Rafa, and Dan all waiting.
Meanwhile, look at the mid lane. Ziviz taking very low, but no mana on Imberlite will force him away. Kunsk did come in with the save there.
Tundra.
Tundra once more, a little bit out of position. Well, a lot out of position. Can he do the big plays? Well, he can delay the death. He can delay the death. There he is. Flash, Nizar picks up the kill with that final auto attack. I have to admit, I think Varus's auto attack sound is one of the best animation sounds in the game.
Very, very
Just
cool.
listen to this.
Yeah. It's the Arctic Ops skin. It's fantastic for that. But yeah, no, they've managed to shut Tundra down on this Irelia by putting him into a lane swap position. They've really, really denied him. They've dove him almost twice here. That wasn't just through a lack of vision.
Yeah.
I feel like VG do get away with a lot of things just through lack of vision.
Imberlite burnt the flash in the mid lane there to try and get away from the ethereal chains, but Ziviz decided not to chase up on it.
Yeah.
Has put a lot of pressure down on this Orianna, but CS is equal across the board, and you have to think that Imberlite on Orianna is going to scale a little bit better than a LeBlanc into the late game.
Well, yeah, in some respects. LeBlanc can catch out people and do a lot more burst damage in that sense, but in a teamfight orientated composition, Orianna is going to be a little bit more useful. But yeah, you would hope that Ziviz can start to make some picks towards this mid game, because they're going to need it. Because FM are going to need Ziviz to get ahead to deal with Nizar on this Varus. They're going to need it to sort of make up for the lack of power spike that Irelia is going to have, because she's so far away from that Trinity Force. Now, Tundra's having to freeze this lane now. Not even level 6. I believe he's actually the joint lowest level in the game. Yeah, and as a top laner, that's not what you want to be seeing. Says Scott, he's doing a fairly good job, though. He did have to burn that flash and heal early on. The heal is available. The flash is almost available. And actually, it's going to go back down into a 2v2 situation. And actually, Nizar gets the red buff that they
That's really big on a Varus as well.
Yeah.
You've got Blighted Quiver, you've got Hail of Arrows.
It's going to make
that
it
extra slow makes it so difficult to fight.
It's going to make it a lot easier to get Winter's Bite.
Shockwave used onto Ziviz in the mid lane. Can he turn this one around? He has to jump away. Here comes Nutri. Glacial Prism's going to lock it down onto Impolite. He flashes in. Ziviz comes in. One last Sigil of Malice has to flash away, but there is the Stand United from the level 6 Shen. And he will save Impolite in the mid lane.
This will be a dragon now, though. This will be a dragon.
Quite possibly. Dan started up. Kunz still only level 5. There's a level 6 on Rapper. Just an experience advantage here for Verge. Pushes them in the lead. 1,400 gold and a dragon now. Really good play here from Verge Gaming. It does give Tundra a little bit of time to get some CS under his belt, though. Yeah,
Tundra needs the time. He's going to push this wave up now. Yeah, good idea from FM just to leave that dragon. There was no way they were going to contest that with Ziviz being so low. Again, Verge just taking command early on in this game, and superior tactics. They need to be careful. Nutri's going to spot out Dan here.
Yeah, Dan does get spot out. Here's the bait score, going to try and knock up that Dan. Here comes Kunz. Chain of Corruption lands onto Scott, though. The Aqua Prism not going to connect, and Kunz goes very low from the explosive cast. Dan has to flash the wall, but so Scott's going to get stunned up with the concussive blows. Nutri and Kunz cannot fight this one. Another stun onto Nutri. He's going to go down. Tundra comes in. Can he clean this one up? The heal comes out. If he can get one, maybe he can get the resets from the Blade Surge, but it's not enough, and it's a 1-for-2 exchange. Ziv is going to jump the wall. No, he's not. Decides against it.
He was potentially going to jump the wall, eventually decides that that's not the case.
I have to admit, I think all that would have taken... Oh, here's the problem, okay? There's a rushed mobility boots on Kunz instead of a rushed sightstone, so he didn't have a ward. Tundra had to teleport to the tower instead of teleporting to a ward in that bush. If he okay, have a look at this,
Yeah, you'll see Nutri catches out Dan here. Dan is apparently level 1, as we know that is not the case. Fate School comes out, and Sir Scott is unfortunately on the wrong side of nowhere. He's going to have to flash out. Dan gets a nice explosive cast, jumps across the wall with the flash, and Sir Scott is just never going to get away from his concussive blows and Avaris, and they managed to lock up Nutri as well. Unfortunately, that was all positioning. You're going to see Tundra come in here and pick up the kill. That was all positioning, unfortunately. And they just really focused down onto a fairly tanky target as well.
I think if there had been a sightstone on Kunz, ward in the bush, Tundra teleports into that bush.
I still don't think Nizar would, so I still don't think Sir Scott would have survived.
I'm not sure Sir Scott would have survived, but I think Tundra might have picked up 2 instead of only picking up 1.
Yeah, potentially.
And Nizar now has his Infinity Edge. That is a big power spike on a Varus who does so much crit damage. He's 1,000 gold ahead of his enemy AD carry as well. Look at this. Actually, Rafa and Dan in a very bad position. Going to get taken out with Sir Scott. He's going to pick up one. Nutri picks up the other. I'm really not sure about that position.
I actually think they were expecting Nizar to move across the turret, but because the minion wave was so low, he couldn't commit. I really don't think they expected the backup from Nutri and from Quince. But that was a really lovely double bubble, which managed to pick up 2 kills for FM. 2 kills they desperately needed. Put them right back on level pegging here in terms of gold. Kill going on to Sir Scott is huge, but he's still a little bit away from that power spike as it's an Infinity Edge, like you said, already onto Nizar.
Impolite needs to be careful because here comes Kunz. Gonna lock him down with that ethereal chains. He flashes the wall, but it's not enough, and Kunz will Aqua Prism. There is the Stand United, and a beautiful shockwave stops Ziviz from being able to jump across. And that was a really well played by Impolite, actually. Thought he wasn't going to get away with that Aqua Prism, but Ziviz unable to jump the wall because of that shockwave.
That's the perfect example of a defensive shockwave. It was really, really good. Really good. What a great descriptive word. It was just
really
It essentially stopped the distortion over the wall and gave Impolite the time he needed to get away, even with that Aqua Prism. Yeah, the shockwave was fantastic, and Ziviz is going to be getting his blue buff right about now. The Funk Soul Brother.
Check it out now, blue buff, Soul Brother.
Yeah, they're going to go ahead and take this red buff, or at least attempt to take this red buff back away. But Rafa is going to try and get some vision. This might be the 3rd red buff that they lose here. Yeah. Ziviz is reacting.
He hasn't backed. He hasn't bought items. He's got 1,700 gold in the bank, and you need to be spending those power spikes.
Yeah, they're really putting pressure onto this red side jungle from FM, and Tundra, despite having been put behind very early on, has picked up 2 components of his Trinity Force, and he won't be too far off that 15-minute mark. So, all said and done, could have been a lot worse. I think that kill really, really helped him out.
I'll definitely let him get the Phage, which means he can bully out Prince Philip in the lane.
I think he got the shutdown from that. I believe he got the shutdown, which is a massive portion of gold for him.
Did he take down Nizar, or did he take down...
Yeah, he took down Nizar.
Oh, okay, yeah, then definitely. He got 3 kills, gets the shutdown, gives him a bunch of gold, and at the moment, It's a very close game. Gold lead now in favor of Sir Scott and the FM gang. And Sir Scott got his Bloodthirster on that Callista now. Probably building towards Runan's Hurricane next. As soon as he starts stacking that attack speed, it's going to be very difficult for him to be caught.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it is, boys.
I mean, but right now there is a slight advantage now for FM. They're starting to pull ahead just ever so slightly. The problem is for me is that the wombo combo is giant from VG, and we've seen that even if they miss the wombo combo, oh, Tundra again is going to be the target.
He might be okay.
Yeah, I mean, this is just Prince Philip and Dan.
Oh no, no, not with the taunt and the explosive cast.
There we go.
And he's going to try and Transcendent Blades heal, but what can he do? He dodges away. Oh. Isn't it? Prince Philip picks up the kill. I think that's like if he'd managed to get a good Blade Surge off, he would have got away. But
yeah, he's overextending again into the top lane without wards, and VG are just doing what they do time and time again, exploiting low vision control from their enemy team and just going for ganks that they usually wouldn't suspect. And Tundra's been the butt of the majority of these, but has picked up that Trinity Force at 16 minutes, so will still be a threat at this point in time. Definitely be a threat at this point in time. And I think VG need to be careful that they don't write that off.
Yeah, definitely. Ziviz looks like he might be building towards an Abyssal Scepter second item here. It's either that or the Void Staff. Expect it to be Abyssal just because helps him melt through the magic resist coming out from Verge, as well as gets a lot of that magic damage down. Dan taken quite low. Kunsk and Sir Scott are around the corner. Aquaprism onto Imbolite, but there's no Mimic here for Ziviz. There is the stand Unite. He's going to jump in. Zivіз needs to be careful. The Shockwave comes out, but Zivіз waits, and Kunsk gets taken really low. There's a Glacial Prism. Imbolite's going to get taken out. Tundra gets the kill. Fate's call on Kunsk. He will try and jump back in, perhaps regretting his decision there for a second until he got away. Zivіз really good kiting.
I've got to say, the MVP moment for me for Zivіз was the fact that he distortioned back and dodged the shockwave. Dodged the taunt.
Oh
from
yeah,
Shen.
taunt as well. Yeah.
It was so good. It was really well timed. And VG needs to be careful. They don't overextend.
Dan needs to be careful because he's going to get locked in the Ethereal Chains. Tundra goes low, but they do pick up the Dragon. Of course, Callista can get that with the Ren. Prince Philip, a double bubble, but they knock him back with the explosive cast. Zivіз does go in. He's going to get taken down though by Nizar, who has that red buff. That was a very good explosive cast. Knocked down the original distortion, but there was a Mimic. And the second distortion came in. What can Sir Scott do here? He has that Tidecaller's Blessing. He's onto Dan. Enough Rens will get him down, but it's not going to be enough. We'll just decide to farm up this wave instead. And Tundra picks up another kill in that previous fight. Now 6-all.
Yep, so this is good for Tundra. He's going to pick up a little bit more gold that he desperately needs. So Scott is definitely having a pretty decent game from this point on as well. Has picked up that Bloodthirster, so not looking like doom and gloom. A very sort of interesting build, like immediate magic pen coming out from Zivіз.
Yeah.
He wants to be able to get through that front line more quickly if they do choose to go for magic resist, but that's not on the cards right now for them. Wow, look at Imbolite trying to do his best. He has got the Shockwave available, so I do believe FM need to be careful.
They do, but there's still a Fate's Call as well. The bubble onto Rapper. Here comes Zivіз into the fight. The Shockwave only hitting onto Nutri, and he doesn't quite have the Glacial Prism. A good taunt onto Kunsk. Meanwhile, we see Tundra backing away. There was a massive team fight going on, and Tundra had decided to back, and Verge pick up their kill, losing Rapper in the process, but you'll take Nutri for Rapper any day. That Glacial Prism out of the fight is a big one.
Yep.
Of course, Prince Philip will
Tundra
have the
backing
back
again.
up.
He doesn't have teleport. They're going to have to give this turret up, I think. Oh no, they're actually just going to back off.
Zivіз has good wave play at the moment with that Void
yeah.
staff, so we'll clear it out. Poor Poro. Look at that. He even sticks out his tongue. What a sad day for the Poro.
Poor Poro.
Ooh, accidentally clicked there.
It's 1,100 gold here for Sir Scott, so he can go back and purchase whatever item he so chooses.
1,700 on Nizar.
Yeah, so he can go for the majority of the Phantom Dancer, which we know he likes to favour over that Static Shiv. And with a team with such good wave clear like Orianna, why would you go for the Static Shiv, I think? I think the Phantom Dancer is better in most cases. Especially since a lot of people haven't reacted to the fact that they moved crit over, and the crit is such an important thing going.
We say it every time we talk about Phantom Dancer.
I know.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
It's just it's interesting that we have to keep repeating ourselves.
Maybe people will pay attention to us at some point.
I doubt it.
I know we're quite boring to listen to, I guess.
Yes.
No,
we're not. We're lovely. Here in the ESL UK studios in this second game of the best of three between Verge and FM eSports. It's in a little bit of a lull at the moment. Teams very even, only 300 gold the difference, but you have to feel if Nizar can stay alive for these fights, he's 5-1 on that Varus. He's definitely outputting a huge amount of damage, and we're going to see if FM can locate him and lock him down, or if they're going to be chained to the rocks by that chain of corruption.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for my spectator game to not mess up. There we go. I'm back to live.
You caught up
I'm
with
back to live. There we go. I just somehow had a massive lag spike on my spectator client, but yeah, right now it's looking pretty even across the board for both sides. 5-1 on Nizar. He's consistently the guy who's getting the gold, getting the kills, getting the carry potential on the side of VG. And I think a lot of teams, if they in future going forward against VG, need to look to exploit that, because if you shut down Nizar, there isn't much else that is a real, I guess, threat from the side of VG. Nizar is usually the consistent threat, and no one seems to be able to shut him down in very few cases. That was a good lane swap that managed to shut down Tundra in the early game, but also put Nizar into a position where he could scale off that. But he's not massive, he's not leaps and bounds ahead of Sir Scott at this point in time, but he's definitely in a very strong position.
And it looks like we have actually accidentally loaded up Facebook here at the moment, because it's definitely Farmville in this game. Everyone just rotating around into those lanes, getting as much CS as they can. And it's only a 300 gold difference between the two. This will probably suit FM, in all honesty. If you can get a bit more farm onto Scott, get him up. It looks like he's going Phantom Dancer instead of Runans, which is a little bit of a surprise.
I mean, I think you're not going to. I don't expect to see FM engage with this composition that they're running. I think they're really looking to just counter the fairly big hard engage coming out from VG. I mean, I think they saw the Gragas, the Shen, and the Orianna, and they thought we need to adapt and go for a counter engage here. Yeah. But like we said, unless Quinsk can dodge or at least get round the Unbreakable, it's going to be so hard for the Tidal Wave to be the counter-engage tool that they need, unless Rafa isn't at the front of the pack, in which they can try and slow down the mainstay of the front engage. But actually, you can see Prince Philip got that Warden's Mail, got the Stalker's Blade. He's going to be in a very, very solid, or Skirmisher's Saber rather, he's going to be in a really strong position to just 1v1 Tundra at this point. You can see Tundra already losing a lot of these trades, especially with that Gromp buff on the side of Prince Philip.
Yeah, really, really strong. And a big tower pick up there for Verge in the mid lane. If you can get that, it gives you so much more pressure in the enemy's jungle. They've already been all around this red. Kunz gets caught out, Explosive Cast comes out, knocks them all back. Glacial Prison caught by Rafa there. And what's going to happen? Kunz from the side does get that Tidal Wave out. Tundra can join in the fray here.
Oh, nice Tidal Wave there.
It was a very good Tidal Wave. Here comes Tundra. He can jump across the wall. Dan very low. He jumps onto Dan. Here comes the Glacial Fisher. The taunts onto a couple, but Nizar gets caught in the Aquapism, and Ziviz from the side. Nutri still alive. Imberlight has got that Stand United on him, but Prince Philip's going to go down. Not quite. So Scott can chase. Ziviz can chase. Imberlight's going to go very low. Ziviz is going to chase Prince Philip down towards the bottom side, and this might even be a Baron here for FM if they want it.
They've got the
tanks
rend.
Are quite low.
I mean, Nutri's pretty low at this point in time.
And they do it now. They're going to push. They're going to push down mid lane instead. That was a very good engage there by FM. 2 seconds
till Dragon. It will certainly be a Dragon.
Yeah, definitely. A really good engage. They managed to flank Verge superbly well. Ziviz and Tundra came in from the sides. Let's have a look at this one.
I mean, this is all about... This is the Tidal Wave they needed. It made that the two carries couldn't get into a position to do easy damage. Transcendent Blades is fantastic across the wall. Dan gets taken very low. Jump over from Tundra is fantastic. And just look at Sir Scott. He's not being touched. No one is touching Sir Scott. The Shockwave was poor, and Ziviz was completely unaccounted for. And it caught the majority of VG by surprise, especially Nizar. Perfect way to deal with Nizar. You blow him up.
Yeah. And you can't fight in these small choke points against a team that has so much AoE damage. I mean, Transcendent Blades is basically AoE. Glacial Prism, which only landed on 2 members at the start of the fight, but pushed them back, is AoE. Oh, Ziviz needs to be careful. He's been a bit aggressive here.
Oh,
he's
tries to juke out.
Oh, he's not going to be able to do that. And Nizar gets the shutdown. But Ziviz coming in from the side as well, so Scott was able to get out a huge amount of damage.
It was a risky place for both teams to fight. You don't want to fight in an enclosed space versus your Orianna, but also if you don't have superior vision control, as you can see, there wasn't any vision around the bottom side of the red buff. It meant that Ziviz could flank very easily. So if Nizar was caught a little bit out of position, which he was there, he could blow
Glacial Prism onto Nizar. There's no Ziviz here. The Tidal Wave comes out, but Rafa blocks it up with the Unbreakable. Shockwave on 4! But there's no follow-up. Rafa's going to get caught out. So Scott doing so much damage. Shaman Corruption onto him. Can Nizar take him down? I don't think he can. Mikhail's is enough along with the heal. Nutri's going to turn and burn onto Nizar. That's a very dead Varus. Arctic Ops doesn't work for you when it's not winter. And Summoner's Rift always in the summer, as we know. FM are going to be able to push down this mid lane. It looked good there for Verge for a minute, but the Glacial Prism into follow-up. A beautiful shockwave, but there was no stand united
available
from Prince Philip, and he just couldn't join in the fray.
Yeah, I mean, that was it looked very, very good for both sides, but essentially, right there, the main crux was a beautiful Glacial Prism. You forced a flash very early out from Nizar, and then you just had a great follow-up in the form of Tundra and
so Scott needs to
Scott.
be careful. There's the taunt. Here comes Imberlite. Hasn't got Shockwave available, but the Randuins will be enough. Will it? So Scott kites for days, and he has gone to fly a kite up to the highest height and send it soaring as he backs away down the river. Verge once more unable to pick up a kill. Tundra gets the tower in the top lane as well. Yeah, FM taking every advantage they can.
Looking a lot better for FM this time around. Again, the early lane swap was just... I feel like they didn't get as much out of it as they potentially could have done. You saw them against XL. They really exploited that. I think
the thing was Tundra picked up that kill in bot lane, and they got him the phage. It got him towards the Sheen as well. Meant that he could face up against
He got a 16-minute Trinity Force, which is not bad in anybody's book. And when you're lane swapped into, that's a really, really good Trinity Force time to pick one up. And now he's 4-3-6, having started the game, I think, at 0-3, 0-2. I
think it was 0-2, yeah.
Yeah, 0-2, and now he's 4-3-6.
I think the other thing is a lot of the gold for Verge is sitting on their AD carry, who is not mobile.
Yep.
And if FM can get onto him with that Blade Surge, with the distortion from Zivis, he can double distort even just to burn an ult or burn a flash or whatever.
The problem with Varus is he's really bad against Irelia.
Yeah.
Because she's got the tenacity.
Yeah, so Chain of
Corruption. And then
Corruption.
Chain of Corruption is not going to lock her up for long enough. And then you just have no other way to effectively escape. You have to burst Irelia before Irelia can burst you, which is very difficult.
Never going to happen.
Well,
it might.
The later you go, it might be a little bit more. But right now, Tundra's building almost exclusively, as it looks, to blow up Nizar. He's not got any defensive items here.
Trinity Force. That is a dangerous, dangerous Irelia. Along with that Hiss and Style doing the true damage on hit, giving you the lifesteal. And it's Tundra's Irelia as well. He is known as one of the best Irelia players in the UK scene, perhaps alongside Numlocked.
Infused, basically, Numlocked and Tundra are probably two of the best Irelia players in the scene. But, I mean, you see Infused almost 100% ban Irelia versus Tundra. They're going to go straight for a Baron here. I don't think... There are pings coming down.
They know there are people around there because they spotted them out with this ward here. But I don't think they know they're doing the Baron. And so Scott and Nutri... And that Rend is going to do probably about 2,000 damage here. Yeah,
there's a lot of stacks. I'm just going to count them going up.
Pulls out 2,000. Holy moly.
Crazy. That was a massive amount of damage.
Yeah, and Verge realise it, and they're like, okay, well, we just have to be defensive for the next 4 minutes because there's nothing you can do against this lineup.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really nice bit of mind play by Quince as well. He was sat around that Baron pit area, but was just backing off.
Yeah.
He had the recall button going, so... If there was any confirmation that they were doing Baron, nothing was showing poker faces from the FM lineup. They're going to try and catch out Tundra again in the 2v1, but he's going to be quickly darting away. Has got the...
all of FM are coming down here. Verge needs to be so careful because Tundra can survive for a good couple of seconds here, probably about 20 seconds. Ziv is here, the Tidal Wave's going to connect only onto Prince Philip, but he has got the taunt. Ziv is going to get taken low, Explosive Cast will knock Tundra back, but the Glacial Prism comes in and Dan is going to get destroyed along with Prince Philip. A Chain of Corruption actually going to lock Nutri under tower. Tundra jumps in. That is so aggressive.
Wow.
Tundra. These are double bubble. Shockwave comes in, but Rafa isn't going to survive for long. He jumps away. Here comes Tundra.
Yeah, you don't give Tundra Irelia.
You don't give Tundra Irelia. You don't give Nizar Jinx. You don't give Tundra Irelia. He is now 6-3.
I actually think if Tundra manages to get Irelia, there is no reason, in my opinion, to ban Jinx, because I think Irelia is one of the champions that does do well at dealing with the Jinx.
A lot of credit to Kunsk as well. Double bubbles all over. I mean, he has been
fantastic. And actually, you know, Nami in this position is picking up really great tidal waves. When, you know, Braum is not around, Braum is not available, not in position to block with the Unbreakable. Oh, wow. Imbolite just
so low.
Late ultimate coming out from Shen, and
I think, in all honesty, I think that ultimate was just in case anyone jumped onto Imbolite and also got him to the fight ever so slightly quicker. They lose only the inhibitor tower.
I mean, Ziv is backed off immediately after getting that burst down, and then the Shen ultimate came afterwards. There was no one threatening an engage there, so... Looks like, yeah, a Moramel Mortius coming out from...
We don't tend to see that.
You don't tend to see it, not very often anyway. And he's going to go for it over that Black Cleaver, which I assume is what he's building out of the...
Could be a Yumu's. He's been that aggressive, it could be a Yumu's Ghost Blade.
Could be a Black... Yeah, and Yumu's or Black Cleaver. Black Cleaver would probably make a bit of sense to get the flat armor values down to allow Scott to do more damage when...
Oh, definitely,
But actually, it's essentially built almost exclusively to deal with Nizar at this point.
Can he 2v1? That's the question we saw earlier. He couldn't. Dodges the explosive cast, gets taunted up. He's going to try and jump across towards the Grump. And look at that, he almost escapes. He's going to get knocked, stunned.
Oh,
yes,
oh my word, there's so many
but Tundra's going to keep running away. The shockwave used, and they do eventually manage to take down Tundra. The problem for FM there, it took them freaking ages to take down Tundra, but FM had all based, so they can't even take anything off the time it took.
Yeah, I mean, there was, unfortunately, there isn't anything on the map that's going to be easy to take. They couldn't take that top lane turret because it was where everyone was based. There was nothing, I mean, the bottom lane inhibitor was fine, but everyone was back. There was just nothing that they could take. But Tundra, he's just shown that it takes a lot to kill an Aurelia, even when she's not built any defensive. I mean, obviously, Moramel Mortius is defensive, but there's no Randuins there, there's no flat health. Tundra is a fairly sticky target right now, and I think Nizar is going to be worried every single team fight that Ziviz and Tundra will just be able to wipe him off the face of the map. And Quince is going toe-to-toe with Dan.
So aggressive. Like, that is such... He went toe-to-toe with the enemy jungler in the enemy jungle.
Yeah.
With, like, the closest teammate he had was in mid lane.
The problem is that Dan couldn't commit because there isn't enough vision. Anywhere past their very inner line there, you can see it on their red side jungle. That's where their vision is at this point in time. And actually, Ziviz is going to jump away from...
It's the safest.
So basically, he thought, if I commit here to Quinsk, I don't have any clue where the rest of the team is. And therefore, I don't want to get caught with my pants down. I mean, this could be a massive bait for all he knew. So, yeah.
Quite possibly.
Sensible decision there from Dan.
So Scott's going to take away the red buff. Meanwhile, FM are just pushing on towards the enemy red. Not going to take that one away. It's going to be given across to Nizar, who is still 6-4. And FM pushing down mid lane. Tundra can join them with the teleport if he wants. And then pop out that Sentinel as well. Nutri goes in. Glacial Prism on 2. There's the chain of corruption onto Nutri, though. Explosive cast knocks across towards the side. The shockwave only going to lock down Nutri, but he's going to go down. Tundra is here with the teleport. And here comes Ziviz. He destroys the AD carry. Gets taken down himself, but Tundra's still alive. It's 4v3 with Nutri and Ziviz going down. And that's actually an okay trade.
Yeah.
Like, the problem is Nizar did pick up the kill, and he's dead now, so not really a huge amount Verge can do.
Yeah, I mean, not a huge amount FN can do either, though. And I think that was unfortunate because Tundra just wasn't in a position to dive any further. You'll see it here. Nutri goes very aggressive, but there's no Tundra. Tundra has to teleport. At this point in time, Nutri's just getting focused down. And Nizar is so close to his turret that Tundra can't do anything about it. Ziviz does get the kill, but he unfortunately goes down as well because all of the anti-damage and disengage goes down onto him with that exhaust. And yeah, I mean, Tundra just wasn't in a position to do anything useful in that fight. You saw him just sort of wander around aimlessly at the forefront.
Interestingly, though, we did see...
Oh, it is a Ghost Blade coming out, so that's actually going to be
that's
a Ruby
full
Crystal
damage Aurelia.
Yeah, full damage Aurelia.
Full damage Aurelia.
Basically, as much attack speed as you can get out in a short period of time. Maximize the height and style.
The problem is, of course, like, you can be full damage Aurelia, but we saw if you're not in the fight, like, you don't get any of that damage down. So he needs to be in the next fight for FM. Otherwise, Verge will feel like they have a chance. They have an opportunity to get back into this one, especially if Nizar stays alive.
Yeah, exactly. Late game Varus is still a scary thing.
He's going for Blade of the Ruin King as well, which
does percentage health-based damage with his W, obviously.
Blighted Quiver really helps him out.
And he can proc that with all 3 of his abilities that aren't Blighted Quiver. So, I mean, there is the potential for him to chunk down. If he's clever with the use of his abilities and auto attacks, he can chunk down high health targets fairly quickly. With on top of that, Blade the Ruin King, it's a scary prospect.
It definitely is. And interestingly, actually, in that fight, we saw Scott pop out a Sentinel, and then that was what Tundra teleported to. So, nice little, like, he pushed it forwards even though they had vision of the area. Nice little use of some mechanics there by FM just to try and help Tundra get into these fights as quickly as he can.
Ziviz is doing a really good job of forcing the Unbreakable to come out from Rafa, which will then allow Nami a little bit more time to use her Tidal Wave. So Rafa's going in, proccing the Unbreakable, which gives them a bit time to, or it gives them time to allow Nami to use that tidal wave. Bit split here. This could be a potential engage for VG if they wanted to, but that isn't going to be the case.
Stand United has just come off cooldown, so I expect Prince Philip to start a push in this bottom lane and then be ready to ultimate into the fight. Of course, he's got his teleport available as well. Ziviz is going to jump Rafa. He pops the Unbreakable once more, and Nutri's going to come in from the side, trying to get that Glacial Prison off. Not quite going to be able to do it. Meanwhile, Prince Philip still pushing out the bottom lane as much as he can. The fight is here. Nutri's going to jump in. He's got Glacial Prison. He goes quite low. Cuts blows. There's the Glacial Prison onto Rafa and Dan, but those aren't the targets you want. Ziviz in the back lane pops the Ethereal Chains. Prince Philip did use the Stand United onto Dan to keep him nice and healthy. This is such a tense moment in this fight because either team could win it from here. As you said, Excalibur, if they keep Nizar alive, they're going to rotate around towards Baron.
He's got Flash as well.
Yeah, he's got Flash.
I mean, they've got the small Rift Scuttler there, so I mean they know that they're either just in the Baron or they're just sort of trying to bait there, so they're not going to commit to anything too strong.
Oh,
Dan takes a lot of damage.
Yeah.
And Ziviz is just putting on the pressure, doing what LeBlancs do very, very well. Tundra looking to catch someone out, and actually VG know about this.
Lots of
They're going to have to go the long way around here. They may lose the inhibitor turret.
Yeah, that's really, really bad. Good rotations there from FM. Tundra locked them out. He pops the Yumus. Rafa's going to come in. He jumps in with a stand beside me. There's the Unbreakable. Meanwhile, Dan's gone onto the back line, knocks Ziviz back. Prince Philip gets in. The shockwave hits up too. Nutri's gone low, and Nizar is going to try and stay alive throughout this fight. Tundra gets in. Hasn't got the Yumus anymore, of course. Proc that to try and get the tower down. And Verge will save the tower. Ziviz jumps in, but he gets exhausted straight away, and it looks like Nizar's going to survive. Ziviz does get away as well, of course.
That's the exhaust down, though. The exhaust is down.
And the Distortion Mimic is up in just a second. Fate's Call comes out, knocks him in. Nizar, there's the Kunz. Nizar's going to go down so quickly. He flashes away. Tundra, there's the face of the mountain, but Nizar will go down to Tundra. Actually, Ziviz picks up the kill. He's going to help out, pick up that Braum as well. Rafa going out. And the inhibitor in the mid lane is down. The inhibitor in the top lane.
Up. This might not be game just yet.
It might not be game, but it's going to be darn near close to it.
Yeah, they're going to back off because Orianna is available.
I think Orianna might have DC'd there for a second.
Right.
Because she wasn't moving towards that bottom lane trying to protect out the inhibitor or whatever. It's a big push in the top lane as well for the side of FM. It's a big, big game. Let's have a look at this replay.
Let's have a look at the replay very quickly here. So a nice tidal wave again onto Imbolite, makes him a bit slow. Tundra then has the potential to get on top of him. Prince Philip doesn't do anything useful at this point in time. He's kind of left there like a sitting duck and takes a lot of damage, but unfortunately is not able to do any more than that. The immediate exhaust coming down, Ebb and Flow keeps Ziviz healthy. But now Ziviz can go in freely if he can get in and do another Distortion combo or Ethereal Chains combo. And Tundra right here, that was a beautiful Fate's Call into Bubble, locks up Rafa, and Tundra straight onto Nizar at this point in time. This is what you want to do against an AD carry, or an AD carry that's fairly low mobility. Have an Irelia or have a LeBlanc that can just jump in and blow them up on the backline.
We are back into the game. It looks like FM are going to go rotate around towards the Dragon, pick the fourth one up of the game for themselves, pushes them closer towards that fifth Dragon. If the game's still going on in 6 minutes, which, in all honesty, the way FM are playing at the moment, I doubt it will be. They will be able to get that fifth Dragon of the game.
This has basically been, we've banned Jinx from Nizar. He's on another AD carry that doesn't have nearly the same late game carry potential that Jinx does. And
even if he gets ahead, we can shut him down late.
Yeah, exactly, because it's Varus. He can't self-peel to the extent that Jinx can. He doesn't have the range that Jinx has got late game or the execute potential. Jinx is gone from Nizar now. He can't sit in the back line and just carry while his team tanks for him because, again, there's two things that FM have done to remedy that. They've taken 2 carries that can just annihilate an AD carry on the back line. And then they've banned out the Jinx, so they forced him onto something that isn't quite as strong in that position. And interestingly, because he's being focused so much, he's gone for the Alacrity boots?
Alacrity.
Alacrity, yeah. So he's gone for just a little bit. Alacrity. He's gone for a little bit extra movement speed just to try.
Oh, Ziviz is going to catch him out.
Oh, wow.
You can't move away from that.
Yeah.
The camouflage coming out from LeBlanc rather than the Arctic Ops of Varus once again gets spotted out. It's a Summer Rift. It's a Summer Rift, Nizar. You can't use your icy camouflage here. You'll be frozen in place in the Baron.
I mean, it's Mistletoe LeBlanc though, so maybe she's sort of.
You can't camouflage against Mistletoe.
Well,
she wanted to kiss him under the Mistletoe.
She just basically said, "I'm your friend. I'm also a winter-themed skin. Don't worry about me."
Lots of winter-themed skins in this game.
There is actually, yeah. That's one of the best Sejuani skins.
Oh, it's gorgeous. And if only we had Frostbus Irelia as well. Sorry, Frostblade Irelia as well. Tundra's going to go towards this inhibitor tower in the top lane. The inhibitor's the next target, actually. Dan.
Goodbye.
Good by Dan, my man. The shockwave does come out. Kunsk flashing it. What? What? That was an interesting little flash there, but they get the third inhibitor of the game. This is going to be Nexus Towers as well. FM eSports going to take the game. 71,000 gold to 57. 26 kills to 11. 40 minutes on the clock. And FM eSports going to clean the clock of Verge and send us into a game 3.
Yeah, this is going to be a game 3 in the FM versus Verge eSports. And have they cracked the code of beating Verge? That certainly looked like it. There was a fairly shaky early start to the FM lineup, but they managed to stabilize and bring it back very, very easily. And a nice composition for coming from there. Managed to take out a fairly immobile AD carry. And the Nami really worked wonders. 0-0-22, didn't die, and was involved in a large
That's a perfect support score.
Yeah, large. It's almost in every single kill she was involved in.
Absolutely amazing play by her. We will be right back, guys, with the third game here between Verge and FM eSports. We are at the ESL UK studios in Leicester. Make sure you stay tuned.